Somalia did not collapse in one day. It collapsed in decisions, in patterns, in choices that seemed small at the time, but were structural. Let's talk about the mistakes. After independence in 1960, we rushed into national unity, but we did not build strong institutions. No deeply independent courts, no professional civil service, no strong local governance, no real checks and balances. The state became personality-driven instead of institution-driven. And when leadership failed, the system failed. In the 1960s, democracy existed, but it was fragile. Parliament became clan competition for state resources. Instead of building national identity, instead of creating economic growth, politics turned into patronage networks, coalition buying, short-term alliances. Trust in civilian governance weakened, faith in the system slowly eroded. Then came 1969, the military coup. When Mohammed Siad Barre took power, many welcomed order. But this was a structural turning point. Power centralized in one man. Political opposition was crushed. Civilian political culture died. Independent institutions were sidelined. Authoritarian stability looks strong, but it rots from the inside. Then came the gamble, the Ogaden War. Somalia invaded Ethiopia to reclaim Somali territory. Military strength was overestimated. Superpower politics were underestimated. Dependence on Soviet backing was too heavy. When the Soviets switched sides, Somalia lost. The war drained the economy, militarized society, triggered refugee crises, shattered national momentum. That was the turning point, from stability to decline. After defeat, reform was needed. Instead, survival politics took over. The regime relied heavily on its own clan alliances. Power was distributed unevenly. Rival clans were repressed harshly. Political opposition became armed clan resistance. The state lost neutrality, and once a government is seen as belonging to one group, it loses legitimacy. Then came excessive repression, crackdowns in the 1980s, especially in the north. Cities like Hargeisa were bombed. Repression did not silence opposition, it multiplied it. Violence created more enemies than it eliminated. Meanwhile, the economy hollowed out. Corruption spread, foreign aid declined, public services collapsed, youth unemployment surged. When people stopped depending on the government, they started depending on militias. By 1990, the regime was weakening, but there was no transition plan, no reconciliation framework, no negotiated settlement, no unified opposition council, no constitutional roadmap. So when Barre fled in January 1991, the state did not transfer, it vanished. Politics had been militarized. Opposition movements were armed militias, not political parties. So when the regime fell, the strongest actors were warlords, not statesmen. Power defaulted to the gun. The pattern is clear. Power was personalized instead of institutionalized. Politics was militarized instead of negotiated. Clan identity overrode national identity. War was pursued without economic depth. Dissent was repressed instead of reformed. When the center broke, nothing was strong enough to hold. But here's where purpose begins. Somalia's story is not finished. If collapse came from weak institutions, then recovery must come from building them. What does Somalia need now? It needs institutions stronger than personalities, independent courts that no clan can control, a professional civil service that serves the nation, not factions, local governance systems that give communities ownership without fragmentation, checks and balances that prevent any one man from holding the entire state. Somalia needs politics without militias. Disagreements resolved at the tables, not through rifles. National identity above clan calculation. Economic depth, real production, real industry, real jobs. So the youth depend on opportunity, not warlords. Somalia needs reconciliation, not silence, not forgetting, but structured truth, accountability, and healing. Because wounds that are buried do not disappear, they return. And above all, Somalia needs disciplined leadership. Leadership that understands that power is a trust, not an inheritance. Leadership that builds systems that can survive beyond them. Somalia did not collapse because Somalis are incapable. It collapsed because fragile systems were built, and fragile systems break under pressure. But systems can be rebuilt, stronger, wiser, more disciplined. If the next generation chooses institutions over ego, law over loyalty, nation over faction, then the story does not end in 1991. It begins again. I speak to the ones who still think.